Sup nerds, I'm Tom.
I'm Wes.
We actually just got finished playing Azul, so we're going to talk about it.
Yeah. So Azul is a brand new abstract tiled pool drafting game that's coming out at Essen 2017 that we got to play a little bit early because of our good buddy Mike with Plan B.
Boom.
Tom, what'd you think about it?
Dog. Okay, so what you need to know ahead of time that Wes already knows is that I usually don't like abstract games.
At all.
In fact, we were actually looking at a game, and I don't remember what, I think it was like tack or something kind of weird, and I said, it looks kind of like chess. I don't really care. Or Onitama. I've never played Onitama, but that looks to me like, it's just abstract, and I just don't really care. So actually, coming into this, I was like, I mean, I'll play it. I'll play anything, but my hopes weren't very high.
Yeah, especially because, you know, when a lot of people I heard said, oh, this is like could be the next Splendor, it's gonna be awesome. Yeah. And not that you don't like Splendor, but you like, as a rule, you're like, it's boring. I'd rather play other games that have more to them. I
might go as far to say that I don't like Splendor.
Okay.
But enough about other games. This game actually really surprised me. I did thoroughly enjoy this game.
Yeah, absolutely. Neither of us did very well in the game we played.
No, we sucked. You can see it.
There's a playthrough. But it was really fun. The strategy was really unique. I think that was part of what hurt me a lot was that first round, I was not going for like how you actually score. Because it's not just like what you put, but it's where you put it and what's next to it and then the lines you make. And I wasn't thinking about that. I was just thinking about like, oh, there's these out there. I can fill up this row with that color. Mm-hmm. So that definitely contributed to me doing poorly. But I think as it went on, we both got better as we learned strategy and stuff. And it was just a really fun, I want to say it was a thinky game, but it wasn't a super analysis paralysis, like you're just sitting there doing math in your head. It doesn't hurt. But it was like a nice mental exercise, a little mental warm-up.
I mean, I guess we probably could have done more analysis paralysis of like, because there were only a couple of times when I would look at other people's board and say, well, if I take this here, that'll push these into the middle, and that puts 4 of this one color in the middle, and Wes really needs 4 of that color to score well. You know, there were only a couple times when I was thinking that. I guess if I was thinking about it more, I probably would have done better. But I also didn't really feel like that aspect was as much a part of the game. Like blocking other players, it's one of those games where it behooves you to just make sure you're doing well on your turn and not, sacrificing your own points to make sure somebody else doesn't get points. Like that doesn't help you as much in this game as it would in other games. And I feel like that's a positive because there's
absolutely
not a lot of hate drafting if that bothers you.
And you can't hate draft. There was a little bit of like, oh, I can see Mike, if he gets one more red, he's going to do that. So I'm going to make sure I do this. So if he gets that red, he's going to have like 5 that he's going to have to get negative points for. But like you said, you're much better off getting points for you than taking points from someone else. Now, if you can find a way, if you have 2 different options to choose from and one of them hurts someone, obviously it's the better one to take. Yeah. But it's not a take that game at all.
You can hate draft, but that's not what the game is.
Yeah. Mm-hmm. I do think it's going to be a very family, easy, accessible game. It's super easy to explain. The scoring is a little bit funky, so you almost want to set up a first round, score it, just show people how it scores, and then either go from there or if everyone wants to just start over again. Because it's not long. The game's 25, 30 minutes.
Yeah. Could be longer with... could be longer, not with more players, because we played before. Could be longer with more experienced players because of the analysis paralysis aspect could guide.
Or if you're super intense in strategy and this game means something to you. Because for me, I feel like this is going to be a lighter, more fun game. It's not going to be a super intense, heavy, I have to beat you because of this. I have to beat you, but not win the game.
Well, I got last place by 10 or 15 points, and that didn't really bother me. I did. It was definitely, I did make one really, really bad move where I actually set, and you can see it in the video, where I set myself up to be where I took these tiles and that pushed these in the middle. Now there are 7 of one color in the middle, and it's going to come around where I'm going to have to be the one to take those. So I'm going to get all the negative points. So that made me go, oh no, but also I'm like, it's still a fun game. Because it's short and because it's just kind of light, you don't feel when you're invested in a big heavy game and your decisions matter and you make a mistake. I made a mistake playing Amun Ray with him the other day, and I was like, because I spent so much time planning that
entire
move.
Game.
Yeah, but this little I should whatever. Yeah, it is what it is. It's fun.
In addition to that, the components are really solid. These tiles, obviously they're big, chunky plastic. They feel nice. Some of them have patterns, some of them don't. I get their design choice to not want to have like overwhelm you with patterns. Some people like get migraines and stuff. I personally probably would have liked them to have patterns because I keep being like, oh, that's upside down. Oh, that's upside down. But it looks good. Your player boards are nice and thick. Your score marker, it's just a black cube, which, not that it needs to be this big, it's not like, oh, there's minis that move around keeping track of your score, but that's probably the least exciting component. Obviously, you get a bag. Games that like have a drawing or something like that, drafting thing, that don't have bags for tokens or tiles, I'm like, guys, what are you thinking?
Yeah, I'm looking at you, Elder Sign. I do think it's a little bit. The only kind of complaint I would say is the first player marker.
Lackluster.
It's a token,
but it could have been a tile.
It could have been a tile.
Very easily, it could have been.
I guess that way it doesn't get accidentally mixed in here. I mean, maybe.
I can see that, but I would have liked it to have been a tile too. I was thinking that, but
or it could be like a big tower thing.
A big
as long as
miniature?
it has a square base and still fits in the negative point area.
Yeah. Regardless, not a big
deal. Make
deal.
those changes now. Game's not out yet. You can still do it, guys.
Yeah.
Opportunity's knocking. So, like I said, overall, I was really impressed with this game. Did not think I would like it. Ended up liking it a lot more. It's not pushing up into like, my top 10 games ever or whatever. But for what it is, I enjoyed it a lot more than I thought I would. I'm definitely down to play it again. I really enjoy a lot of the strategy. I think the fact that you're at the very beginning, the way these tiles are placed out, you're thinking, I'm going to try and grab the one that has the most at first. But then as things get pushed into the middle, grabbing the most is bad for you. So that dichotomy right there is really interesting to try and think about. Also, the fact of taking first player, you have to take first player, and it's a negative point. So somebody could push tiles into the middle that you really want, and then you're thinking, I guess I'm gonna take a hit for it. It's not that big of a deal, but then the negative points do get more and more as time goes on. So there's a lot of things like that where you may think this is a smart move, but then you're thinking later on, actually, I kind of wish I didn't take that move. So and it does have, I guess the only negative is that it does have you have an advantage for playing it beforehand. Like Mike definitely crushed us because he kind of knew what he was doing.
And Ryan too, he played before.
And Ryan. But even so, getting crushed, I still really enjoyed the game. Really fun, light, quick. I could probably play it with my mom. Highly recommend you guys get this.
Yeah, Azul is definitely a game that I want on my shelf. Like this is one that if we all want it, I might be like, we need 3 copies in our group. But I'm definitely gonna push no, I kind of want this one. I agree that it's not gonna be.
I might want a copy too.
We'll talk about that later. It's not gonna be in my top 10 for this year. Just I don't think a game of this caliber can be, just because the games I'm comparing it to be my top 10 game. However, I do think it's going to see a lot more table time than those games do, because it's easier to play with a more of a varied group of people. Like Descent, you can only play that with certain people. X-Wing, I'm not going to pull that out, at home with my wife. But this game I can. It can play with a family, at the game store, at the game group. I think a lot of people are really going to like it. So if you're trying to decide what game to play, this one's going to be at the top of a lot of people's list, or at least on a lot of different people's lists. So it's going to be the one that, the 3 of us still want to play this game, so we'll still play it. I really appreciated the bonus point mechanisms, where it's not just getting things next to each other, but it's also you get bonus points for having all of this, all 5 of the same color, or if you have a row going all the way down. So when you're pulling things, you're figuring out how to maximize the points, and you're saying, I'm going to get some negative points for this, and I may, it may cancel out the negative points what I get, but I'm going to get this +7 plus this +2, and maybe even a +10 for having all of them. So you're really trying to weigh out what goes where. That's a lot of math. I'm really sorry, guys.
A lot of clever choices. A lot of clever choices.
But overall, awesome game. I'm really excited to play it again. And I don't think there's anyone I wouldn't play it with. I think it fits into a lot of different categories of games I would play with. And if any of that sounded good to you, we're going to put a purchase link in the description box down below as soon as there is one.
And while you're down there, don't forget to subscribe to our channel so you'll never be bored.